Imagine waking up one morning to find that your neighbor has been accused of stealing an entire neighborhood's collection of garden gnomes. Or what about the case of a man who attempted to rob a bank while dressed as a superhero, only to trip on his own cape? These aren't just figments of a wild imagination. These are real-life crimes so bizarre, you might find it hard to believe they actually occurred. If you're ready to dive into a world where the absurd is real and the unbelievable is the norm, then stay with us as we uncover some of the strangest crimes that make you question reality itself. Let's start from the beginning. How did we arrive at a point in society where people commit such ridiculous acts? The human mind is a complex and sometimes unpredictable place. People act out of desperation, curiosity, and sometimes simply because they want to see what would happen. But as we explore these unique stories, one thing becomes abundantly clear: truth really can be stranger than fiction. By the end of this journey, you'll not only be amazed but also left pondering the depths of human behavior. To kick things off, let's talk about a criminal who took bad luck to a whole new level. Picture this: a man in Florida decides to break into a local restaurant late at night. His intention? To steal some food. But here's where it gets bizarre: he accidentally gets trapped inside the walk-in freezer. For hours, he's stuck, helplessly screaming for help while wandering in circles. Eventually, he was discovered by the morning staff, and instead of just letting him leave with a stern warning, they called the police. Imagine explaining to the officers that you just wanted some late-night snacks, but now you're handcuffed because your heist turned into a chilly nightmare. This story is merely a taste of the wild narratives that are about to unfold, and trust me, you won't believe what comes next. As we journey through the annals of bizarre crimes, let's not overlook one of the most curious cases involving a man who took his fear of flying to an extreme level. A Russian man, petrified of airplanes yet desperate to reach his destination for a wedding, decided to hijack a helicopter for the very first time. He approached a group of unsuspecting pilots, claiming to be a government official who needed to make a quick trip. What happened next? They handed over the keys. In dramatic fashion, he took to the skies, only to realize he had no idea how to fly a helicopter and swiftly crash-landed into a field. Not exactly the grand entrance he had envisioned. What comes next will leave you both horrified and slightly amused as we explore the lengths people will go to just to avoid their fears. Now, hold on to your seats, because we're diving into the eerie case of the prankster who took a turn for the sinister. In a small town, a group of friends decided to liven up their neighborhood by setting off a series of harmless pranks involving fake crime scenes, complete with caution tape and fake blood. Everything was all fun and games, until someone accidentally set off alarms at a police precinct thinking it was a real crime. Officers arrived in droves, only to find a gaggle of giggling friends who suddenly realized that their idea of humor didn't quite mesh with public safety. You might be wondering how that story could get darker, but it doesn't stop there. Speaking of alarms, let's discuss the man who became notorious for breaking into people's homes to make himself nachos. Yes, you heard me correctly. Residents across an entire city were baffled when they discovered that someone had been entering their kitchens while they slept, whipping up his favorite late-night snack, and leaving without stealing anything else. The police were aghast. Who would commit such a strange crime? The nacho thief became a local legend, inspiring countless memes and neighborhood watch signs. Is it fervent hunger or plain insanity? How far would you go for snacks? And then, there's the infamous Cuban coffee caper, where a simple beverage turned into a high-stakes theft. A group of thieves masterminded a plan to rob a coffee truck during the early hours of the morning. But wait, this wasn't your ordinary heist. They didn't want cash, they were after an entire shipment of premium Cuban coffee. The stolen haul was worth thousands, and the thieves managed to escape successfully out of the sight of everyone else. However, their celebration was short-lived when the police discovered an unusual photograph yielded from a nearby surveillance camera, one of the thieves holding a coffee cup, grinning at the camera like a barista at a trendy cafe. It seems that even in crime, some people can't resist the allure of a good cup of coffee. You might be questioning their priorities, but don't worry, we'll delve deeper into what motivates these peculiar choices. Ever heard of the Great Pigeon Heist? I wouldn't expect you to. In a bizarre twist of events, several criminals feigned interest in a pigeon racing club, ultimately embedding themselves within the local avian community. Why? To steal prized racing pigeons worth tens of thousands of dollars. Equipped with cozy shadows and sneaky plans, they pulled off the heist of the year only to be caught when they were caught trying to sell the pigeons on the internet. How could they have possibly thought they could get away with such an audacious plan? Life is full of unpredictable turns, and sometimes those turns lead us to unbelievable realities. And just when you thought we've cast our net wide enough, we arrive at the case of a band of thieves who stole a life-sized statue of a Bigfoot to display in their yard for a party. Strangely enough, these misfits saw the fiberglass figure as a prime conversation starter, and the upright statue had been residing outside a local diner for years. But when they were busted trying to hoist it onto the roof of their truck, their excuse about art appreciation fell flat in front of authorities. The police learned that not only did the thieves have no intentions of returning the statue, but they were also planning to charge their neighbors for Bigfoot sightings at their infamous party. Where do people even come up with these ideas? You can see how the line between criminality and absurdity gets blurred in our exploration of human motivation. Be prepared for a more unsettling tale about a criminal known for swapping price tags at a store. While at first it seems merely irritating, this individual got creative. He began placing ludicrously low price tags on items that weren't just cheap. One key item, a high-end laptop, was marked at a whopping $5. After several incursions, he eventually got caught when he tried to check out and was ambushed by confused cashiers. To further emphasize the bizarre nature of this caper, he claimed he was just in it for the thrill. Would you risk your freedom for a cheap thrill? Are we uncovering the darker sides of human nature or merely highlighting the fact that boredom can breed unpredictable behavior? Now, let's dive deeper into the world of more peculiar crimes, featuring the absurd art of evasion. There was a case in Germany where an entire gang of robbers attempted to pull off a heist at a bank during a synchronized dance performance with matching outfits. Yes, you heard that right. Their plan was choreographed to the most flamboyant pop song, but instead of a smooth execution, they drew more attention than the money they aimed to steal. The plan completely fell apart as bystanders couldn't decide whether to applaud or flee for cover. As it turns out, even the wildest plans can go catastrophically wrong. What possesses a person to commit such theatrics for a few bucks? The blurred line between creativity and criminality continues to mystify us. And who could forget about the donut shop robber who donned a giant donut costume? This strange crime took place in a quaint town where the local donut store had been wishing for a little more business. The thief walked in, dressed up in what can only be described as a delicious confection, nonchalantly demanding cash while holding a plastic knife. The humor of the situation was not lost on witnesses or eventually, the police, who couldn't help but laugh during the arrest. In the end, they dubbed the incident the Great Donut Debacle. How did it come to this? How does a criminal choose such a ridiculous disguise? Were they asserting a new form of postmodern performance art? The chance to make people laugh while committing a crime might not be quite what we expect. The more we delve into these bizarre stories, the more we will think about the motivations, what drives individuals to these absurd heights. Duality exists at the heart of crime. It can root in desperation, revenge, or, bizarrely, the sheer desire for the thrill. You might be pondering what comes next in our exploration of the unpredictable. What lies ahead as we venture deeper? Let's take a detour down memory lane and consider another example rooted in fantastical crimes, the notorious identity thief who stole the persona of a famous celebrity. Remarkably, they didn't just find solace in impersonating them online, they went as far as to attend events with fake press credentials. This individual posed as the celebrity at an event that was being broadcast live, tapping into the celebrity's fan base for attention and clout. It's like a wild episode from a heist movie gone hilariously wrong. What drove their delusions of grandeur? More importantly, how did they think such an outrageous scheme could foster positive outcomes? The line between desperation and delusion has seldom been this blurry. And what about the notorious Chili Bandit? This individual in South Carolina took it upon themselves to steal thousands of dollars worth of chili directly from industrial pipes. Their obsession with a culinary concoction drove them to steal a massive 200-gallon vat that was meant for a massive state fair. Instead of savory satisfaction, they found themselves on the radar of law enforcement when an avalanche of chili began pouring out onto public roads. You might be asking how someone gets so fixated on chili that they go to such extreme lengths. Was it a simple case of hunger, loss of control over cravings, or perhaps their love for culinary delicacies exceeding that of sound judgment? As we round out our journey through the realm of bizarre crimes, let's ponder one final captivating tale, a man who orchestrated a heist on his own family members. Desperate for money, he staged his own kidnapping, claiming he was being held hostage until they paid a ransom. Here's the kicker: the perpetrator forgot about the threatening phone call when he accidentally booked a trip that provided undeniable evidence of his duplicity. The reality of human resilience versus absurd deception intertwines here. How can the malicious turn against their loved ones in pursuit of gain? The strange blend of familial betrayal and outlandish thought processes leave us questioning moral boundaries. As we reach the grand finale of our exploration into the realm of outrageous crimes, so much has shocked and surprised us along the way. This journey has unraveled the bizarre threads that weave through human behavior, revealing an intricate tapestry woven with curiosity, desperation, humor, and even a touch of madness. As you reflect on these tales, consider what they reveal about the human experience. The bizarre crimes we've explored challenge our understanding of motivations, pushing us to contemplate the odd lengths some people will go to. What drives them? A desperate need, an insatiable urge for attention, a daring attempt at humor, or perhaps simply the quest for thrills. In these stories, we are continuously drawn into a world where the absurd becomes mundane, revealing the unpredictable tapestry of human existence. As remarkable as these tales might be, we should also remember that behind each crime is a human being, often struggling with their own complexities. So as we close this chapter on bizarre crimes, we invite you to keep exploring, questioning, and marveling at the strange occurrences that shape our world. After all, reality is often more outlandish than we could ever dream. The stories we've shared today serve as a reminder to embrace curiosity, to challenge our perspectives, and to remain ever inquisitive about the unpredictable nature of human behavior. As we venture forward, may we continue uncovering the mysteries that lie beneath the surface of everyday life, revealing the extraordinary experiences waiting to be discovered.